here we are on 7th Avenue in New York, fashion center of the U.S. and some would say one of the fashion centers of the world. And we're quickly climbing to the 24th floor to the offices and design studios of one of America's great designers, Carmen Marc Valvo. What are we going to find? Join us as Living Brands takes you into the world of Carmen Marc Valvo. And there he is.
Hi, Raymond.
Hello,
how are you?
Raymond Nadeau from Living Brands.
Pleasure. Nice meeting you.
It's nice to meet you. America, Carmen Marc Valvo.
Hi. Well, come on in. Let's take a look.
Thank you.
Welcome to my world.
Hi. This is Living Brands, the place where fashion and culture meet. And today, we're lucky enough to meet with a fashion icon that unfortunately few of us who, one, don't shop in the upper tiers of Neiman Marcus or are outside New York City may not know the name of, yet you'll see from the runways of Hollywood to the streets of New York and San Francisco, Kansas City, and everywhere in between, fashionable women influenced by the beautiful stylings of Carmen Marc Valvo. Carmen, welcome to our show.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
This is a show that's restricted to intellectual designers. I hope you're prepared for that.
I don't know if I got that. I'll try.
Now, let me explain. You know, we come from the perspective that all women are beautiful.
Well, they are, yeah.
And men too. But, you know, we're coming from the perspective that women have become empowered and they have a right to be beautiful. And there are some designers who obviously keep that in mind and some who basically disregard it. And after screening many, we've looked to you and come to the conclusion that whether it's Queen Latifah or the Princess of Sweden, all the women in your clothes look good. And that's why we're so thrilled to be meeting with you today.
Thank you.
And so as a kind of a prelude into why that happened, maybe you can tell us a little bit your background, your fashion training, your attitude. You must have loved your mother.
Absolutely. I love women, period.
Yeah.
I mean, I come from, well, I have three sisters. And I come from, actually, there's 3 boys and 3 girls, but the 3 girls came before the brother did. So I kind of grew up together, and I was totally surrounded with women my entire life. And I think that's where the, you know, the understanding of what a woman wants or is looking for came from, you know. My grandmother was a seamstress, so hence I think early on I was touched with a certain bit of fascination with the sewing machine and creation. Early on in my years, I went to Parsons School of Design, and I studied firstly with Bill Atkinson on the Avenue doing sportswear, and then I was lucky enough to work in Paris in the ateliers there of both Nina Ricci and Christian Dior, so working on both haute couture and the boutique lines.
So does that mean your name, frankly, it's like, is he Spanish? Is he with this? Is he European? What am I going to meet?
Well,
and you're American,
yes,
very American.
Yes, totally. My mother was born.
Yeah.
My mother was born in Italy.
Yeah.
In Naples. My father's family is from Sicily.
Right.
The family name, however, we believe is of Spanish origin. I'm American for all intents and purposes.
So is that why your women look like Sophia Loren?
Maybe, I don't know.
I'm kidding.
I mean, I think, I don't know, I think with working in Paris, what was so important to me was to understand, you know, the process of not designing, but working from the structure, working from a foundation, and then working on the outside. Like the couturiers of Charles James. I mean, it was all about building the chassis, making a garment fit. And that was an incredible opportunity to learn about all those issues of fit and how important they are. And without having a perfect fit or a good fit, you know, you really can't make a woman feel as beautiful as she should, to what you're saying. So if you have the proportion and working with proportion, such with Queen Latifah, or somebody as tiny as Lucy Liu, you make them both look equally gorgeous within their sense of proportion and who they are as a woman. And that's what's so exciting to me.
It sounds to me as though you brought in the artist and the artisan, because I know, having seen all of the shows, there's so many beautiful designs, and I won't mention the names of designers. I almost wanted to go backstage and say, come on, it's so pretty, let's just fit the gowns a little better.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that's the part of fashion a lot of women don't appreciate, and why so many women say, I wish my clothes were constructed like men's clothing, because you know, it has a reputation of being better tailored.
Right.
So obviously you must be an advocate of tailoring, and it was grandma's influence?
No, I think it's, yeah, well, grandma's from the sewing, but
Okay.
no, but I think actually probably more so. My father was a doctor, my mom was a nurse, so I mean, we studied anatomical passages in books when I was like 7 and 8,
Wow.
and I think there's a certain understanding of the human form that comes into play. It's
Right.
that, a sense of architecture, which I played with for a while, because it's all about building. You're building a structure around the form, you know, the female form, and each one has its own nuance. And so it's, as you said, it's not artistry. It's more of being an artisan, like honing your craft. And every collection you learn something new. It's something new. It's something new and exciting, a new fabrication taking you into a different direction, which makes fashion so exciting from season to season. And that's what I love about it. So you can never really, or I can never really feel complete as a designer, because there's always one new challenge, one new step, something else I'll learn. And hopefully along that process, I learn how to, you know, hone the craft better, fit a garment better, and make women feel and look more beautiful.
Which is a noble pursuit. You know, something you've said completely intrigues me. The notion of comparing architecture to fashion design. You know, a word that I've used and I've found in my book, and I hear being increasingly used, is, you know, this notion of brand biospheres, or the architecture of brands. I mean, it's almost in the marketing vernacular. If you were to translate the place where the woman who wears your clothes lives, or in her dreams would like to live, how would you describe that place?
Oh, wow. Good questions here, hey? Where does she live? I think
It can
my
be in her
woman...
mind.
Yeah, and I think my woman lives in a place of security and strength, but also coupled with the frailty of human emotion, like we all have. I mean, I love evening wear because it's such a celebration of life. And I like to go to the weddings and the bar mitzvahs and the cocktail receptions. I mean, that's why I love my evening wear so much. But when you're celebrating life, with that comes certain risks, which is, you know, you're vulnerable. You know, a woman enters a room and she's, you know, bare on the shoulders sometimes, deep plunging necklines. She's less dressed than she is in normal occasions. That being the case, there's a certain vulnerability there. I like to try to smooth those, you know, concerns that she may have by, when she walks into the room, that feels like she owns the room. It comes with confidence and strength, security and fit.
I think if a gown or any garment can do that, you've accomplished a lot.
No.
And I think your collections have consistently demonstrated that. And what I'd love to do now is perhaps take a look at your spring collection and perhaps see how some of those actual designs reinforce some of the comments you've just made.
Sure, sure.
Thank you very much.
Excellent.
Let's take a look, everyone.